Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today hi projectile motion te bolde hen. Video ma sa chu motion into the basics na. X component equation, y component equation ho I bol chu na ma sa chu. So today we do projectile. Projectile zong chu it is a part of a motion in 2D, okay? So here, see, you know what is a projectile, right? So what is a projectile? So example, say thing as a ball pe phala khun goal ki ga khuna keeper panan pe phala khun ball who a path khuna alien dan who itabang ha. So if you look it from the side, alien dan who curve path in na. So it will rise up, reach the highest point, and then come back down. So that is an example of a projectile motion, okay? So if an object is thrown or projected at some angle with horizontal on the earth's surface, it follows a curved path. So it will follow a curved path, okay, or you can say a parabola under the action of gravity. So this is known as projectile motion. See, so if an object is projected, okay, if an object is thrown or projected, so it can follow two paths, okay? So first is straight line, right? Second is a curved path, okay? So straight line to motion in one day ball down, so we have done it. So if a object is thrown vertically upward, it will go up in a straight line and then come back down again, okay? So that is a motion in a straight line. And then the other thing is if you project it at some angle with the horizontal, right, it will follow a curved path, so that is a projectile. And usually on the surface of the earth we have air, okay? So air is present, and in reality this air provides some kind of fluid friction. Friction provides such air here, but we usually neglected that. Okay, question like say me thay say lo me thay na, but we usually neglect this air friction, okay? J advance na bolo wala see in NEET exam J means or na, so I don't think they will add this air resistance into the question, okay? So mostly you have to neglect it. So next is throughout the whole projectile motion only gravity acts on the object. Na earth surface also bima gravity na. So if an object is projected with a as a projectile motion, so gravity is going to act on that object, okay? So and the direction of gravity is what, always downwards, right? So therefore you will have acceleration due to gravity, so in a vertically downward direction, okay? So you will have ay, right? So ay means vertical, so ay equals to minus z cap, right? So this is acceleration due to gravity, okay? So always downward. And in a projectile motion so except gravity, so there are no other forces, okay? Force dang macam as a particle also. So therefore if you don't have any force, that means there is no acceleration, okay? So there are no other acceleration. So in the x direction, in the x-axis, so you will not have any acceleration, okay? So therefore ax will be equals to 0. So remember, okay, ax is 0, ay is what, minus z cap. So you only have acceleration along the vertical, so there is no acceleration along the horizontal. Okay, so now let's do some 2D on a projectile. Suppose a particle is projected at some angle u, initial speed, okay? So angle theta with the horizontal, a path it will go like this and then come back down, right? Projectile motion, the path is a curved path, it is a parabola, okay? Hutile chilai u hi, so you see u velocity is a vector, and here you see the velocity, it is neither along x nor y, okay? It is in a plane motion in 2D, so I can split the whole motion in the x component and then y component. So you have the three kinematic equation. Now x equals to ut plus half at square, okay? And then you have v equals to u plus at. You have v square equals to v square minus u square equals to twice as. It's equation to more na. It's why x component nazong, y component nazong kizit. So first let's write along the y component, okay, y axis for a projectile. Azo achu PPI head, so along the y chu ay chu minus z chula na ho le equation chu pin ha so y equals to so sy displacement along the y-axis equals to so uy into t minus half zt square. As you say, acceleration to minus z chula na. Okay, then you have vy equals to uy minus zt. Ay kala to minus z na put vale, so you have uy minus zt. Kutile vy square minus uy square equals to twice into minus z. Okay, minus 2z into sy. Now, as you say, acceleration to minus z. So these are the three equations along the vertical. Kutile along the horizontal also PPDM. So along the horizontal, along x-axis, masapin also x s along the displacement along the x-axis equals to ux into t. So plus what? Ax 0 chala. So ax is 0. Okay, so there is no acceleration along the horizontal component. So therefore, I will have only ux into t. So s is equals to ux into t. So any displacement along the horizontal is directly, so the horizontal component of velocity into time. So next, what is vx? So vx equals to ux plus ax into t, ax to 0. So therefore, you will have vx equals to ux. So here, what can you write? Since there is no acceleration, velocity is constant. Okay, so whatever initial velocity you have, so that will be present throughout the whole motion. So here, the horizontal component of velocity remains unchanged. Okay, I'll write here unchanged, or you can write the same. Nah? So this is very, very important. Medical exam question, they have asked question. Okay, so they'll just ask question based on this one. So horizontal component of velocity remains the same. You see here, so initially you have ux, okay, along this side, you have uy along up side. Let's say after some time at point A, chila hi vx chula na, vx kung hindi chula ay vanga so horizontal component aki lauzi. So here also you have again ux. Okay, so at every point the horizontal component is always ux. Okay, so it will not change, right? So chila question 10. So these two we use very frequently. Okay, so most in solving question you will use these two, right? So these two. Okay, so now let's solve some question based on this one. Question number sapena. A ball is thrown at the speed of 100 meters per second at an angle 37 degrees with the horizontal. Find the position. Okay, position na question after 2 seconds. So here time is given as 2 seconds. So let's do it. A formula to pitam sy2 uy into t minus half zt square. Chila hi ux uy to t na holo dio ham. Okay, so let's say particle is projected 100 meters per second. So it makes an angle 37 with the horizontal, right? So therefore I can write ux here, I can write uy here, ux chupitam angle just jalanga ux langa hi jalana. So you'll have cos, so 100 cos 37, cos chuizatam 4 by 5 na cos 37. So you'll have 5 into 20 to 100 to 80. Okay, so ux is 80, uy chuzat deham. So 100 sine 37. Now sine 37 is 100 into 3 by 5. So which is nothing but 60. So uy is 60, ux is 80. Sila in value to put leojan. Uy to 60 times that kpm 2 minus half into z to 10 na into time to 2 square. Kutila 6 2 are 12 minus 2 to 2 cancel, so 20. Okay, I will have here 100. Displacement y lang achu 100. Kutile x langa chu zat ham. So ux into t. Ax home lo na ji chu horizontal component so ax to 0. Ji zat ham. So ux to 80 into time to 2. So 82 are 160. Kutile position chu piham. Position is 100 160 100 160 na coordinates only dito. So y displacement to 100, x displacement to 160. Okay, b part chen pi doon velocity to speed na velocity to, so vy equals to uy minus z into t along the x-axis. Uy to zat ham 60 minus 10 into time to 1 second do so time equals to 1 second. So I will have here how much? 60 minus 10 to 50 meter per second. Okay. Similarly, vx to zat ham, so ux na horizontal components ke hial lo dicho. So how much is this? 80. Right. So how do you write the velocity? So velocity will be given by along the x I have 80. Okay, plus 50 z cap. Velocity. So velocity is 80 I cap plus 50 z cap. So how do you write the speed? So what is speed? Speed is basically the magnitude of velocity. Na chila v pa he modulus whole. So magnitude of this is what? 80 square plus 50 square. Hita ki bolzi chula na ta. Okay, so how much is this? 88 are 64 plus 55 are 25. Solve the answer and put them. So 9 6 7 8. So 8 9 0 0. Okay. So I can simply write here 0 neum jalana. That means 10 square. So 10 root 89. Okay, meter per second. So this is the speed. So next question. A projectile is projected at 30 degree from the horizontal. So angle is given 30. Initial velocity is 40. So what is the velocity of the projectile at t equals to 2 seconds from the start? See, this is a Z-mains question. So here, particle is projected at 40 meter per second. Right? It makes an angle of how much? 30 degree with the horizontal. Kutila ux uy to that ux to 40 cos 30 to that root 3 by 2. Yeah, 40 cos 30. So this is 20 root 3. Okay. So what is uy? Uy to u sin theta chola na. Kutile u to 40 sin 30 to that 1 by 2. So which means 20. Okay. So uy is 20. ux is 20 root 3. Kutile question chun velocity do chola na. Okay. Velocity do ala chun. So vy to peham uy minus z into t. Uy to that 20 minus z to 10 into time to 2. So this is how much? 20 minus 20 is 0. So next vx equals to ux. Horizontal components ke hial na. So how much is this? 20 root 3. So how do you write the velocity? So velocity will be given by, so 20 root 3 I cap plus 0 z cap. Okay. So let's put on velocity. So in the option, which one is the correct? So A. Okay, 20 root 3 na. So next you have a ball is projected from a point A. Initial velocity is 20 meter per second. Angle to 60. At the highest point, okay, highest point, the velocity of the ball is, say, one thing. Previous question also, Vy is an umpona. Vy is 0 pot na. So if you consider the vertical component, okay, suppose I have an object. If it is thrown upward, it goes upward. So when it reaches the topmost point, so here V becomes 0. Okay. So it will come down again. Okay. So at the topmost point, V is 0. So projectile motion. So if you consider the vertical motion, okay, vertical so it will go up like this, right? As the particle goes like this, and when it reaches the maximum point, so here you see, so it reaches the maximum point. Y it is just like the motion under gravity. Okay, it will go up, reach the highest point, and then come back down. So here Vy will be equals to 0. Okay, so at the topmost point, what happens? At the topmost point, so here Vy is equals to 0. Okay, remember. So applying that concept here, so here they ask you the velocity at the topmost point. Kutila topmost point ahi na B ahi. So here you'll have Vy equals to 0. Okay. Kutila Vx baum da chula na chi V hi pe ha chi pen hi. So this is nothing but Vx. Okay. So which is nothing but Ux. Velocity ki hello na horizontal component. So how much is Ux? 20 into cos 60. So 20 into 1 by 2, how much is this? 10 meter per second. Okay, so that is your answer. So next, another medical exam question. A ball is projected 10 meter per second, angle 60. So what is the speed at the highest point? Exact question. See, they are repeating exact question. It's 2022, no? It's 2023. See, this is the importance of solving previous year's question. So same thing, particle is projected at how much? 10 meter per second. So it makes an angle of 60 degree with the horizontal. Ux is at 10 cos 60. Okay, 10 cos 60 is 1 by 2. So this is how much? 5 meter per second. So what is Uy? So this is 10 sine 60. So root 3 by 2. So which is nothing but 5 root 3. Okay. Uy to 5 root 3. Ux to 5. Kutil highest point aja piha. Highest point aja Vy to 0 na. You only have Vx which is also equals to Ux which is what? 5 meter per second. So that is your answer. So moving on, I have one question here, GMAIN 2025. Okay, very recent question. Chila he PKPM x kp chula na. So x is equals to 2 plus 4 into t. And then what is y? Y equals to 3t plus 8t square. See, y by evaluation. So here you have a power 2. Okay, so what does power 2 means in math? So any equation with power 2 is what? So it follows a parabolic path. Na? It is a curved path. Okay, it is not a straight line. It is non-linear. Chila he equation x by evaluation x by t power 1. So t power 1 means what? So this is a linear. Okay, so here it shows you linear. But here this is not linear. Okay, it is actually a parabolic path. Okay, so that means the first option is what? Uniform motion along straight line. So this is wrong, right? So what is the third option? So third option also says straight line. So this is also wrong, right? So how do you know? See, you know that it is a parabolic. So how do you, is this motion a non-uniform or a uniform? So to find out that, you need to know acceleration. Okay, if acceleration is constant, then you have a uniform motion, right? If the acceleration is not constant, you will have a non-uniform motion. Acceleration to take your whole time. So you differentiate this y. Y he differentiate lesson. So what is dy by dx? Not dx, dt here in this case. So we have velocity. Velocity is 3 plus 2 8 16 into t. Okay. To get acceleration, you differentiate it one more time. So d2y by dt square. Or you can write here acceleration. So how much is this? 16th. Acceleration by evaluation chila hi t talo pe chula na chila variable talo chula. So that means this is what? So this is constant. Okay. So now you see that acceleration is constant. So if acceleration is constant, it means that it is a uniform. Okay, uniform motion. Option B jong di talo na non-uniform option B. So option D is the answer. Okay, it is a parabolic path and also it is uniformly accelerated. So acceleration is constant. Okay, so now projectile so there are 3 formulas that you have to remember na. So formula for maximum height, time of flight to range. Okay, range of projectile. So let's find out those things. If I have a projectile, so let's say xy, particle is projected with speed u, okay, angle theta. So we are finding maximum height. So if you see the y, okay, along the y-axis, right? So here, see, where is the maximum height? Maximum height so it is here, right? So this is the maximum height. Okay, so now let's consider the vertical motion. Vertical motion here kepat na hi u y sudah na kepai ding u y kepanding chito to ding maximum height a pa phala chun vy chu zara, so vy is 0. Now maximum height is topmost point, so the topmost point is vy 0. Okay, so here what do you have? You have uy, you have vy, you have acceleration due to gravity. You are asked to find displacement. Okay, so the which formula you apply? So vy square minus uy square equals to twice ay into sy. The formula chula na zatachi vy to 0, 0 square minus uy square equals to minus 2z into h max. Chilai sy hepiam h max chula na maximum height. Abana to acceleration to minus z. So how much do you get here? So minus uy square equals to minus 2z into h max. Okay, minus minus gets cancelled out. Finally, what is your h max? So maximum height is equals to uy square by 2z. Hitin by hallo na formula chom lo uy square by 2z. But motion under gravity straight line also maximum height formula chapita u square by 2z chula na. So here also in projectile, so the maximum height formula is what? Uy square by 2z. Uy chupiham. So what is uy? So here uy is nothing but u sine theta. Okay, u sine theta put lechun is an pot de. So I will have h max is equals to, so u sine theta square by 2z. Na, to u square sine square theta by 2z. Ita jong formula ke jithai cho jong himial chi lechun. Okay, so two formulas. So maximum height. So next you have time of flight. So let's draw the same projectile. So particle is projected. Okay. Okay. So let's say speed u, angle theta. Kutil initial also ux, right? So ux is what? U cos theta. So what is uy? So uy is u sine theta, right? About the time of flight. Time of flight azong hi. See, we have done the same thing in motion in 1D. Okay, particle so vertically so if you project a particle vertically, okay, it will go up and then come back down to the same position again. So then what is the displacement? It is 0. Okay, so the same way, if you concentrate on the vertical motion as the projectile goes like this, so the vertical motion goes like this. Okay, after reaching the maximum height, it will come down. So here it also comes down. Now y component by evaluation, it is exactly like a motion under gravity. Okay, so throughout the whole projectile motion, you see the y, it goes up and then comes back down to the same original position. So that means along the y direction, displacement is 0. Okay, so along y axis, displacement is 0. So write the kinetic equation. So minus so 0 is equals to sy equals to uy into t minus half zt square. Time so 0 equals to uy into t minus half zt square. So here what do you have? So I have here 0 equals to, so 1t is common, so uy minus half z into t. So here I can have two values. Okay, so first value is t equals to 0. T equals to 0. Second value is uy minus half zt is equals to 0. Formula time. So therefore I will have time is uy is equals to half zt who transfer lesson half z into t. Okay, or t equals to 2 into uy by z. So this is your formula for time of flight. Motion in 1D so time of flight formula chapita 2u by z chula na. So when it goes up, for half of the motion it is u by z, for the next half of the motion it is u by z, so total is 2u by z. So similarly chalai jong hi total time of flight cho piham 2 into uy by z. Uy cho u sin theta cho la na, u sin theta cho put le chun zanong pot ne la. So time is equals to total time of flight, capital T jong ne jitheu. So total time of flight is equal to 2u sin theta divided by z. Okay, formula. So time of flight formula. Okay, then you have range. So what is range? So range is nothing but the horizontal distance covered by the projectile. So if it goes with you, so some angle theta, okay, chilaya x langa distance covered pa hai na. So from here to here, so this is your range. Along the horizontal, okay, along the horizontal, so along x axis, distance traveled to is that. So what is sx? So ux into t. Ax home no pichula na, zichu horizontal component so acceleration is 0 chola na. So therefore sx equals to, so the displacement along the x-axis will be equals to ux into t. Okay, so here ux into time of flight chopita. So 2 into uy by z. Okay, kutilega koi khom na chun. So here this is range. So what is range? 2 into ux into uy by z. Okay, it in melchi lo chun na the formula here. So range is equals to 2 into ux into uy by z. So this is range. Kutela ux to zatam, ux to u cos theta has a uy to u sin theta na. A value put le chun zarang pot de ha. So 2 into u cos theta u sin theta divided by z. Sila hi 2 pi hitin koi velang na 2 pi koi le chun. So u into u to zat u square. So sin theta and then cos theta. Okay, let's do one thing here. You write u square here and then you put 2 here. Okay, by z. Now trigo a 2 sin theta cos theta chope ha. So which is nothing but u square sin 2 theta by z. Okay, 2 sin theta cos theta to sin 2 theta. So therefore what is the range? So the range is u square sin 2 theta divided by z. Okay, so this is your textbook definition. Ani niya man nom the so jete ni. So if you by heart like 2 ux uy by z, so it is much more simpler to remember. Okay, so let's solve some questions based on those 3 formulas. A ball is thrown at a speed of 50 meter per second, so angle 37. So what is the maximum height, time of flight and range? Okay, you have a ball, so projected at how much? 50 meter per second, right? So what is the angle? 37. Ux is at the ham. So 50 cos 37, 4 by 5. So which is 40 meter per second. Okay, so here what is uy? Uy to u sin theta, so that means 50 into sin 37 to 3 by 5. That's 30 meter per second. Okay, so that is uy. Question should be the maximum height. So a. So h max to be the formula so uy square by 2z. Now uy to that 30 into 30 divided by 2 into 10. So 0 0 cancel. Okay, so 3 3 are 90 by 2, so which is 45 meter. Banachu b time of flight. Time of flight formula to 2 into uy by z. 2 into uy to 30 divided by 10. So 0 0 cancel, 2 3 are 6 seconds. Okay, total time of flight is 6 seconds. C to piham. C to range. Range formula to pita 2 into ux into uy by z. So 2 into ux to 40, uy to 30 divided by 10. Okay, so how much is this? 4 2 are 8, 8 3 are 24. So 240 meter your range. Okay, so next question. See here is a NEET question. Okay, 2023 NEET question na. Question chun pido ham. So speed is given as 280, So angle is 30. So what is the maximum height? Okay, direct question, na? Direct formula based question. So 280 meter per second. So angle is at 30. Kutila ux is at so 280 into cos 32 root 3 by 2. That's 140 root 3 meter per second. Kutila uy is at uy. So uy is what? So 280 into sine 32 1 by 2. So which means 140 meter per second. Okay. Question chun pido maximum height do chala na. Maximum height formula chipita. So uy square by 2z. So uy to 140 into 140 divided by 2 into 10. So 0 0 cancel. Question okay, here you're given z as 9.8. Okay, so take as 9.8. So 9.8. So let's remove the decimal, na. Okay, 140 into 140 divided by 2 into 9.8. So 140 into 140 divided by 2 into 98 into 10. Decimal point kala so lahi. So what do you have here? 2 into 7 are 14. So 7 1 is 7 7 4 are 28. So 14 14 gets cancelled. So remaining is 3 zeros. So that means 1000. Okay, so this is your answer. So next question, another G-mains question, so which is taken from H.C. Verma. So the range of projectile is fired at the range of 15 degree. So when you fire at 15 degree, so range is at 50 meter na. Kutile 45 degree na fire alachun range thapa suzat diham. So first case 1 pachu z masalachun. So range 1 equals to u square sine 2 theta. So range formula in general so u square sine 2 theta by z na. Kutile range masapachu 50 equals to u square into sine 2 into angle to 15. Okay, divided by z. Jihima sapa na. Ani napachu fire with same speed. Kutile chipahi range ki hello. Oh, R2 let's say. U square into sine 2 into 45 divided by z. Chiteni divide bolation is an podja. So just divide it, okay? Divide bolation 50 divided by R2. Okay? So u square divide ka bola, let's see if I do divide here. Okay, so if I do divide here, so u square gets cancelled out. So z gets cancelled out. Okay, so what you'll have is so sine 15 into 2 to 30 na, divided by sine 45 into 2 to 90. So this is left. Okay, so solve this one, cross multiply. 50 into sine 90 to 1, R2 into sine 32 is that 1 by 2. Okay, so R2 is how much? So 50 into 2 to 100. Okay, so new range is 100. So next is G-mains question. Okay, I'll give you the hints. No, so no on the ball. So you just have to find maximum height and take the ratio. Okay, so for the first one you have 30 degree. The second angle is 60 degree. No. Kutile maximum height to ki depend ha uy ki depend jala na uy to u sine. Okay, u sine. Kutile maximum height must depend to uy square. Okay, so that means what? U square sine square 30 divided by z. uy square by 2z. Kutile height 2 to u square sine square 60 divided by 2z. Ratio dot na ratio, so just divide these two. Okay, so if you divide, what will you have? h1 by h2. So everything gets cancelled out. Okay, if you divide u square 2z gets cancelled out. You'll have with sine 30 square sine square 30 divided by sine square 60. Is that sine square 30 to 1 by 2 square na, so that means 1 by 4. Sine 60 to root 3 by 2, so root 3 square is 3 by 2 square to 4. So I will have here 1 by 3. Answer is what? 1:3. Okay. So next question, you have the angle of projection for a projectile to have the same range to maximum height ki bang na, so that is given. Okay, kutila range formula chapitam u square sine 2 theta by z chito hin biki bangam, it is same with maximum height, so that means u square sine square theta by 2z. Okay, so this is given na. Kutile just solve this one. Okay, u square gets cancelled out, z gets cancelled out, sine 2 theta chiti ki thaya, so I can write sine 2 into sine theta cos theta equals to sine square theta. Sine khat to sine khat gets cancelled out na, cos pa hi chilanga chiala chun ipm de ha. So okay, I have one more thing here. It's like 2 zone na, 2 zone na na, so 2 will come here. Okay, so what will you have here? Here I will have here 4, so sine square theta by 2. Okay, so 2 is there. Here I will have 4 equals to sine theta by cos theta. Sine by cos 2 tan, right? So here I have tan theta equals to 4. Kutile theta suzarham, theta will be equals to tan inverse 4. Okay. Okay, so next question. So two projectiles are projected at theta and 90 minus theta. So will they have the same range? See, for theta, range suzarham u square sine 2 theta by z. Na, just range chila. Kutile instead of theta, if I take 90 minus theta, so what will happen? So what is the range here? So I have u square into sine 2 into 90 minus theta. Okay, so divided by z. So here u square into sine, so 2 into 90 to 180 minus 2 theta by z. So here if you see, you have 180 minus something. Okay, some angle. So 180 minus chohela, so it is in the second quadrant na. See, we have done this in the basics. Okay, basic part. So in the second quadrant, sign is positive or negative? It is positive. Okay, abanle 180 plus ilole 360 plus ongi pala chun function ki change lo din na. So here is that the chala here. So u square into sine ki loading, so 2 theta divided by z. So again you get the same value. So theta is also u square sine 2 theta by z. 90 minus theta is also u square sine 2 theta by z. So that means you have the same range. So you can write this as a knot. Okay, so what is the knot? So if a projectile is projected at theta or 90 minus theta. Okay, so so theta or 90 minus theta. Okay, so here you can write n. So range will be same. See, if I take 37, okay, projectile has 37 degree project, or if I project with 53 degree, so both of these will have the same range. Okay, so this is what it means. If I project with 30 degree, so and another one if I project with 60 degree, so both of them will have the same range. Okay, so this is the idea. So the main point. Nah? So next part is find the relation between their maximum height and range. Suppose I have two projectiles. Okay, so like this and like this. So they have the same range. Okay, so first one has maximum height, let's say h1, right? Second one has maximum height, let's say h2, right? So if one is projected at theta, another one should be projected as 90 minus theta. So then what is the relationship between their h1, h2 and then r? Okay, so tell me what is h1 here. H1 is at them. See here, okay, say so here the velocity should be same. Okay, so they should be projected with same initial speed. Okay, just keep in mind. Initial same speed, same speed achu. So if you project at theta and 90 minus theta, you'll get the same range. Okay, so here what is h1? U square sine square theta by 2z. Okay, abana chu h2 chosen h2 chu right here. h2 is equals to u square sine square 90 minus theta divided by 2z. that times u square tang sine 90 minus theta to cos theta chula na. So here I will have here cos square theta by 2z. Okay, you also have range na, range chuzan ham. So here you have range. So range is what, u square sine 2 theta by z. So what is h1? H1 is this, h2 is what, this. Okay, h1 also sine square theta, h2 also cos square theta. Let's say h1 into h2 chuzan ham put them. You multiply h1 and h2. So you'll have u square, okay, into u square to u square the whole square. So sine square theta into cos square theta divided by 2 to our 4z. Okay, so here what you can do is you can multiply and divide by 4. So multiply, divide by 4. So I will have here u square whole square. Okay, so 4 into, so here I can write sine square theta cos square theta divided by 4, divide answer 16 into z. So cos square by 16z. Okay, one thing, h1 into h2 to z square, that's also like, so z square. So let me wrap this one. Okay, so transfer this side. h1 into h2 to u square the whole square. 4 here 2 sine theta cos theta whole square divided by 16 into z square. Nah, see here. So this part. So what is this? So this is range square. Nah, okay, this is a range square. So here this is what, range square by 16. So this is what, h1 into h2. A relationship we have, range square equals to 16 into h1 into h2. Okay, so this is the relationship. Okay, so next, next you have in a projectile motion. So the path of a projectile, path of projectile curve chala, it is like a parabola. Okay, so therefore you can write the equation of that path. To a projectile china path pa, so you can write the equation of that path. Okay, so that equation is called equation of trajectory. So far we have so y equals to uy into t minus half zt square. See along the y chala, along the x x equals to ux into t. So from here what I can do is I can write here so t equals to x by ux. So what you do is you put this in place of t here and t here. Y equals to uy into x divided by ux minus half z into u by ux whole square. Nah, uy u sine theta into x divided by u cos theta minus half z x square divided by ux to u cos theta, u square cos square theta. So here what do you have? Y equals to u to u cancel out, so sine by cos to 10. So therefore I will have here x into 10 theta minus z into x square divided by 2 into u square into cos square theta. So this is your equation of trajectory, or the equation of projectile motion. So next topic you have horizontal projectiles. Suppose from the top of a tower if it is projected horizontally, so with some initial velocity, so how will the path look like? Suppose from the top of a tower height to h, chilahi particle umna the particle hi horizontally ahi initial velocity u ki picho hutile a path to itabang dia, so it will fly and then it will land on the ground. Okay, projectile mama chalana na jong hi. So this is called horizontal projectile. Okay, so initial velocity is given horizontally. Chilai question PP dong thayam. So they can ask you here three things. Okay, first thing is how much time it will take to reach the ground. Na ani na penchu what will be the velocity or the speed of the object when it hits the ground. Okay, and athum na penchu what is the horizontal distance covered. Masapena chu time hold on nothing na. See, if you see here, if you concentrate on the vertical motion, so it will go down and then reaches here. Okay, so what is the displacement? H minus H. It is going downwards. Nah, minus H. So here minus H is equals to initial velocity to horizontal chala na. So if it is horizontal, so that means uy is 0. Okay, vertical component initial acho. So therefore 0 into t minus half into zt square. So how much is this? Minus h equals to minus half into zt square. So minus minus cancel out. T square is equals to 2h by z, or time is equals to root over 2h by z. Horizontal projectile aso time of flight chana tool alhun masang tool alhun chana time of flight. So total time taken is root over 2h by z. Okay. Ani na penchu. So what is the total range? Range supiham. So this is the range. Okay. So how much is this distance? Horizontal aso acceleration na. So that means here. So this is ux into t. So what is ux? It is simply u. So what is time? Root over 2h by z. So this is your range. Okay. If they ask you what is the speed when it hits the ground, atila chu velocity is u chulana horizontal acho. So even when it hits the ground also velocity is u. Horizontal pa ke khelo cho. Iva vertical pa chu idin holo dio ha. So initially vertical velocity is 0. So vy square minus uy square equals to twice minus z into minus h. Chisu lang ya so height jong so displacement so minus h. So here how much is this? So vy square uy is 0 ta so. So this is equals to 2z into h, or what is vy? Root over 2z into h. Okay, so therefore, so downward you will have this value root over 2gh na. So when it hits the ground along the horizontal you have u, along the vertical you have root over 2gh. So the speed will be in between them. Okay, so you know how to find out speed, right, from velocity. So g velocity is a ui cap plus root over 2gh z cap. Value hoche question on keeping speed at the over. So you just find out the magnitude of this vector. Okay. So one example on the horizontal projectile. So a particle is projected horizontally from tower of height 20 meter. Height na. Initial velocity to initial speed to 10 meter per second. Question to be how long does it take to reach the ground? As a time to direct and apply to time to be root over 2h by z. Na 2 into height to 20 divided by z to 10. So how much is this? 2 are 4 divide root. So that means 2 seconds. Time of flight is 2 seconds. Question to him, how far from the foot of the tower the particle will hit the ground? See range and also range formula to pitam. So ux into t, right? So that means u into so root over 2h by z. Root over 2h by z to 2 hung pot. So 2 seconds. Kutile u to piha initial velocity to 10. So 10 into 2. So which means 20 meter. Okay. Okay, so next question. So this is a miscellaneous question. See, suppose from the top of a tower, right? So from the top of a tower, so the tower is how much? So this is 15 meter height. Okay. Achung apanahi initial velocity to is that it is not. So you take here 10 root 2 meter per second. Okay, initial velocity. Question keep it. So here typing mistake. So here you're given 10 root 2 meter per second. So at what angle? So at 45 degree. Okay. A path here. So what will be the path of the projectile? So it will go like this, and then it will hit the ground. First question, how long time do time do? Vertical motion vertical component focus so it will go up. Okay, go up, reach the topmost point, come back down and reach the ground. So tell me, what is the displacement here? So from starting position to final position, displacement is how much? 15. Okay, that is the displacement. Velocity x lang 10 root 2 into cos 45 to 1 by root 2. So this is 10. Vertical lang 10 root 2 into sine 45 to 1 by root 2. So this is also 10. Displacement to minus 15 na. So I go like this, come back down, reaches the ground. So this is your displacement. Minus 15 is equals to initial uy to 10 into t minus half into z into t square. Time ko holo. This is a question of time also. So here how much is this? So minus 15 equals to 10t minus 5t square. 2 1 is 2, 2 5 are 10. Sila here 5 1 is 5, 5 2 are 10, 5 3 are 15. So if I bring t square on the left side, minus 2t minus 3 equals to 0. So you said t minus 3, t plus 1 equals to 0. Kutila times to 3 second. Times to 3 second. Next part of question. So how far from the foot of the tower it will hit the ground? So this one. So same thing along the x. What is the formula? Ux into t. Always. Okay, you don't have any acceleration. So is that ux is that 10. Okay, time to 3 second. So therefore this is 30. Okay. So next is चला है JEE special का जी ना आज जो medical exam आही. So I don't think they haven't asked question from here. Okay, not yet. Incline projectile. Suppose azo horizontal projectile चला ना plain ground horizontal la के cap चला ना projectile so what happens when you incline that horizontal plane? Okay, so something like this. So at some alpha, so particle is here. So now the particle is given initial velocity u. So the path will be like this. So let's say at an angle beta. Now a plane path to alpha ki incline na abana projectile to beta ki cap tinenso. Okay. So in this case, so there are only few things you have to keep in mind. It is similar to horizontal projectile, but a few difference. Difference acceleration due to gravity to always downward. So here I'm going to split. See, whenever you have an inclined plane, so here your x and y also will rotate. Okay, x pasang to ki inclining, y pasang ki inclining. So your x y coordinate is like this. So here if you see z pa hai na xy to hitia marasun z pa to, so it is neither along x nor y. Okay, so therefore you have to take component of z. Component so along this side, so this is alpha, so z cos alpha, and then along this side I have z sine alpha. Normal projectile to hit na susala hipiam dele to hi along the x component na horizontal azong hi value. So here also you have z sine alpha. So now ax is not equals to 0. Okay, and then similarly you have ay. So this is ay, and then this is ax. Okay, ax is not equals to 0. So next is what? Velocity. Chipen hi uy to that diham. So u sine beta. To hai beta ta cho. Abana ux na ux to that diham. So ux is equals to u cos beta. Okay, you keep in mind only those things. U2 u sine beta, u cos beta. Abana z2 z sine alpha, z cos alpha. Adang hochuna time of flight kiti hochu derivation na wana ki bangcho. Suppose I'll do only time of flight. Chila time of flight chuti ki holham. So here, see, along the y, if you concentrate, you go up like this, you come back down, displacement is 0. Displacement 0 here, so 0 equals to uy into t minus half into ay into t square. 0 equals to uy u sine beta into time minus half into z cos alpha into t square. 0 equals to u sine beta, transformation u sine beta into t is equals to half into z cos alpha into t square. So t gets cancelled out. Time of flight is time equals to 2 into u sine beta divided by z cos alpha. Okay, so this is your time of flight. So I can write as t equals to, so 2 into uy divided by ay. Normal projectile at time of flight formula 2 into uy by z. Because you have only z vertically downwards. So here, so the actual way to write is 2 into uy by ay. Okay. Normal projectile ay z. So it is the same thing. Formula range maximum hai. So the only thing that you have to change is in place of z, you have to write ay. Okay, so that much. So we'll not do too much here. As you choose z advanced poem lesson we'll do in a separate video. Okay, so I think this much is enough for z mains. So this much is projectiles. Okay, so we'll stop here. I hope you understand everything. So you go back and rewatch it again as many times as you need. So we'll see you in the next video. Okay, thank you for watching.